Eclipse season is here. We've got 2 eclipses coming up in the next month. The first eclipse is a full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees Libra on March 25th, 2024 at 3:13 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The second eclipse will be a total solar eclipse at the new moon at 19 degrees Aries on April 8th at 2:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Both of these eclipses fall on the Aries and Libra axis of the Zodiac. Let's talk about the first eclipse that's coming up on March 25th. This is a full moon eclipse, and it occurs when the sun, which is at 5 degrees Aries, forms an opposition to the moon, which is also at 5 degrees of Libra. And this is an exact opposition, and the full moon is a time of fulfillment of what was started at the last new moon. And the last new moon was new moon in Pisces on March the 9th. So this upcoming full moon eclipse can be a very emotional time for romance and relationships. And as the relationship polarities and opposition of the Aries Libra, which is Aries self-assertion, versus Libra, which is partnerships with others, these themes in opposition can be some challenging times. This eclipse can help us to focus on having healthy relationships and to balance our own needs with the needs of others. And feelings of discontent can come to the surface and become magnified during the intensity of the full moon eclipse. This eclipse signifies a time to resolve relationship issues and to strike a balance, to learn what changes we need to make in order to move forward. And the thing about these eclipses, and we all know a full moon has intense emotions, and a full moon eclipse ups it a notch. These intense emotions will eventually pass after the eclipse are over. But relationships, the time of this eclipse, it can be a make it or break it time. Some relationships can be so challenged that they just end and they don't work out. And some of them can be put to the test and actually be strengthened. And at the time I'm making this video, it's about 10 days before the first eclipse. I can already feel the energy starting to build, but the energy, as it gets closer, even like 3 to 5 days before and 3 to 5 days after, can still feel like the intense eclipse energy. Full moon eclipse can signify endings that we didn't see coming, which can often pave the way for new beginnings. So anything like breakups, leaving a job, or anything that we did not expect is very common to happen around the time of an eclipse. Fated events are known to happen during the time of an eclipse. These events can change and transform our life as we know it, where things are forever changed and evolving. Things that happen during and around the time of the eclipse can be set into motion at that time, and can actually take 6 months to a year for us to see where those changes will lead to. And people with personal planets anywhere from 0 to 10 degrees of cardinal signs are most significantly affected by this eclipse. Cardinal signs are Libra and Aries, Cancer and Capricorn. And the Aries-Libra relationship polarity highlights areas of our lives such as our needs, lacks, and desires. And these are highlighted and come up to help us learn how to strike a balance between the self-oriented Aries energy and the other people-oriented Libra energy. Aries is fire and direct and goes straight forward for what they want. They're self-oriented. And Libra is logical, tactful, balance-oriented, and other people-oriented, compromising, negotiating, and balancing. So these two are opposites, and that's what's going on during this eclipse is the self versus relationship axis. In the full moon eclipse, it helps us to see what problems are highlighted that are coming up in relationships so that we can look at everything and then learn how to take a balanced approach so that we can meet our own personal needs and also be able to tend to the needs of our partners and for both parties are happy. It's independence and autonomy versus companionship and sharing as a couple. And the Libra moon signifies diplomatic, tactful, equality, and fairness. And Aries, sun, signifies valuing personal needs, desires, and courageousness and independence over the Libra tact. And this full moon highlights this conflict in this sun moon opposition. Without balance, we can run into problems in the relationship areas of our lives. This full moon eclipse encourages us to look for a balance so that both sides' needs are being met. And this full moon intensity often happens when feelings come to the surface and we're urged to honor and express how we truly feel. During the time of the eclipse, our true feelings tend to come up to the surface that have been hidden, feelings and emotions that were maybe bottled down or just ignored come to the surface. And as we all know, during a full moon is people are always like intense. There's like a feeling of intensity in the air. And emotions run so high when people get in touch with feelings that have been hidden. And that's why people are so emotional during a full moon and eclipse. When true feelings have a need to come to the surface to be acknowledged and resolved. And after the eclipse and over the next 6 months to even a year after, we often learn even more about what has been hidden and what we need to work on so that we can resolve these areas to make ourselves happy and still maintain healthy relationships with other people. When the full moon eclipse is here and we're all feeling all these emotions, I thought it would be a nice reminder, have a heads up of what we can expect so that we can know and be aware that the intensity of the full moon eclipse will pass and that we can take a step back and observe what's going on and try to take some deep breaths and think before we emotionally react and say something that we might regret later. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Easier said than done, right? I'm not saying this isn't going to be challenging, right? Yeah, for sure. So the Aries Libra axis is highlighted not just for romantic relationships of love and romance, but also of any partnerships, personal friendships, or business relationships. If the oppositions that come up can be reconciled, a fresh start or a new chapter can begin, and relationships will gain a new understanding of each other and can become stronger than ever.